This morning, my calendar changed. A guest had to reschedule. A few years ago, that would have frustrated me. Today, it reminded me that great leaders don't control every circumstance. They control their response. If you're a business owner, leader, entrepreneur, you know the feeling that I'm talking about. Clients cancel, employees leave, deals fall through. Life rarely follows the calendar. And today, I want to share what those moments have taught me. Now, here recently at Level Up and Live, when a guest becomes a member, we invite them to be on the Level Up and Live podcast. So if you've been listening to this show, you know that we bring on guests, we bring on members, we bring on spouses, we bring on friends, people that are actually embodying what Level Up and Live stands for. And what I have learned to do is follow up 24 hours in advance. This was supposed to be recorded on August 4th at 8 a.m. So I'd send a text message out to this individual at 4 p.m. in the afternoon to confirm the next morning at 8 a.m. I get a response about an hour to 2 hours later saying that he needed to reschedule because something had come up with work. Now, in that moment, in the past, I would have been frustrated. But my first reaction was proactive. Okay, cool. Things happen. What time works better for you? I can be flexible. And an hour goes by, and it was in that moment where we had to reschedule it for the following week. Now, I had done my prep work, I had done my homework, I had my notes ready, and I was ready to dive deep on this episode. But because I was in that moment and I felt a little reactionary, but mostly proactive, because the old habits want to pop back up like I would have in the past of why is this happening? What happened to committing and doing that you say you're going to do and following through with that? I could have told myself these stories, but instead I can't control other people's behaviors. Instead, I can be proactive and meet this person where they are in that moment. And I ask myself, why do we always feel like we have to control the outcome? Now, looking back in the early years of my insurance agency, which I started in 2015, I remember the first year I was sleeping under the desk for several days out of the week. And in that moment, I thought it was normal. I thought it was a part of the process. I was that entrepreneur. I was that one that worked 16 hours a day. And I remember vividly that every single day I was in reactionary mode. I was getting setbacks left and right. My plans were changing every single day. And when plans change and setbacks happen and chaos happens and you're reactionary mode, I felt like I was just treading water and it was exhausting, which led to me being overweight, 30 pounds overweight, which led to me be reactionary, being unkind and mean and angry and frustrated for everybody around me. Because I don't know about you, but for me, when setbacks happen, I tend to get angry. I tend to get frustrated. And everybody deals with setbacks differently. But over the years, what I have learned is the interruption, the setbacks, the change of plans isn't always the obstacle. Sometimes it's the invitation. And what I mean by that is it's a moment that you can either choose to be reactive, get frustrated, which we know where that leads, or you can choose to be proactive and do something about it. And it's an invitation to become that person that you want to become and how that person shows up and responds with kindness, humility, and love. Because not everybody is going to meet your expectations. Not everybody's going to be meeting your standards. And it's really in those moments, after reflecting back, that is really the fork in the road on who you become and who you choose to become. Now, here recently, me and my wife went to Portugal. We had a beautiful 10-day experience, and we traveled the entire country of Portugal. And for the most part, and everything was planned accordingly. From the moment we got up to lunch to going to bed, everything was like clockwork. Our travel agent did a phenomenal job, from the food, from onboarding, from guest experience, the car, our rental, our flight, everything was laid out, and we didn't have too many setbacks or issues for the trip. So it was a great experience. However, roughly 4 days before our time to depart from Portugal, we went to one of our last places was, I believe, Ventusuelo and Quinta Resort. We were traveling to basically in the middle of nowhere. And in this travel, we're on the side of the mountain, hundreds of feet above the river. And we get to this dead end. And in this dead end, we're like, oh, okay, there'll be another way. So we put it on Google Maps. And of course, you got spotty service and you're international. So your phone typically doesn't work to its best as it does back here domestically. So we finally were able to pull it up, and we found out that we were 5 minutes from our destination, from our resort. 5 minutes. So we had to click alternative route because the road was closed, the only way to get there. And it said we had to go around the other way, which was an entire hour. And another hour. And we had already been traveling for about an hour and a half at that point. Well, it was in that moment where normally I would have gotten upset, frustrated, mad, like I said earlier. But I pulled over, took a deep breath, and me and my wife took a moment. We paused. I felt like it was a moment of invitation to go, okay, what are you teaching us here, God? And it wasn't in that moment where another car pulled up because we waited a few minutes and I didn't react and go the other way that Google was telling me to go. Well, the car pulled up and I felt the Holy Spirit telling me, you need to ask this person if there's another way, because he was a local. And of course, he spoke Portuguese. So we had to get the translator, and the translator didn't work. But then another guy pulled up, and this guy spoke English. And he said, follow me. We followed him, and I kid you not, it was the sketchiest little dirt road on the side of a mountain with no guardrails. You'd make one wrong turn, you're done. And it was a private road that we followed him for about a half a mile that went up and over the mountain to make it to the other side, to make it to our destination, which took us 3 minutes. Now, the reason I share this story is because when there's an interruption, when there is a setback, when there's crisis, when there is chaos, when the plans don't go as planned, what interruption in your life might actually be preparing you for something better? And you can't always choose what lands on your calendar, but you can choose who you become when it changes. And if this helped you, share it with another entrepreneur. If you're looking for a room that helps leaders navigate seasons like these, we'd love to have you as a guest at Level Up and Live. Keep leveling up.